What if work could feed the human spirit, not just the bottom line? What if leadership was less about managing people and more about awakening them? Starting with ourselves, of course. In most organizations, productivity and profit are treated as the highest good. Results, metrics, efficiency. But if we're honest, something essential often gets lost in the chase. A sense of aliveness, of meaning, of soul. I've met many leaders who quietly admit that winning has become not enough. They've hit every target, achieved what they set out to do, and still feel something's missing. They've mastered performance, but without feeling fulfilled or satisfied. What's missing is an important dimension of work. I'm talking about the spiritual dimension that is too often neglected. In this video, we'll explore what spiritual leadership really means. The practices that nurture the spirit, fake spirituality, and playing the infinite game of leadership. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Broom. Welcome to a Leadership and Self-Mastery video. The first question is always, what spiritual leadership really means? By spiritual, I don't mean religion or ritual. I mean the lived experience of connection. Connection to life's purpose, to others, and to something larger than ourselves. It's the sense that what we do and who we are, while doing it, fit together. They do, after all, belong together. Spiritual leadership isn't about bringing prayer into meetings or lighting incense in the conference room. It's about leading deeply from held principles rather than fear, ego, or expedience. It's leadership grounded in values that outlast circumstances. That includes integrity, compassion, empathy, and humility. At its heart, spiritual leadership sees service as the purpose of work. Good service does generate revenue, but revenue isn't the purpose. Being of service, enriching the lives of others, is the purpose. I once worked with a CEO who, after a health crisis, realized this. He'd been driving himself and his people hard, believing the stress was simply the price of performance. One morning, reading over another report of burnout and turnover and remembering his close call with a stroke, he thought to himself, we've been treating stress and exhaustion as if they're badges of honor. With help, he began to shift from driving results to cultivating meaning. And almost ironically, the results improved as the energy of their organization changed. That's the paradox of spiritual leadership. When you stop trying to win, you begin to serve. And in serving, everyone wins. Authenticity, integrity, empowerment, accountability are used as slogans in many organizations. But when actually practiced, they're the very nature of spirituality. Authenticity means your inner and outer selves are aligned. What you say and what you do match. Integrity builds trust. It's the quiet power of doing right, even when no one is watching. Empowerment is seeing people not as roles, but as evolving beings. Then inviting their growth beyond today's job description. And accountability is compassion in action. It's the belief that someone can rise higher and having the courage to hold them to it. True leadership holds all four, and each requires conscious use of self. That's the discipline of noticing when your ego wants to control or defend and choosing instead to serve. That choice, repeated over and over, is how the spiritual becomes visible every day. A spiritually healthy workplace doesn't need to look mystical. It's grounded in very practical habits. Ethical practice, Transparency and fairness are forms of spiritual hygiene. Inclusivity. Curiosity before judgment. Welcoming differences as a teacher, not a threat. Mindfulness. Pausing before reacting. Noticing your inner weather before you speak. A team I once worked with began every staff meeting with a single deep breath. At first, people felt awkward. Then it became a rhythm, a moment to arrive and remember why they're there, then to get to work. Meetings grew calmer, sharper, even shorter, because being present saves time. These aren't add-ons to the real work, they are the work. Practices that align intention, action, and awareness. Of course, the idea of spirituality is misused when it's no more than lip service. Spiritual language is too often used to avoid hard conversations. Some wear compassion as a badge, signaling their virtue. But that confuses being calm with being real, avoiding discomfort rather than transforming it. True spiritual leadership doesn't skip conflict. It moves through it with conscious understanding that healing and understanding is what is called for. When we lead from spirit, leadership itself becomes an infinite game that's not about winning, but about the deep understanding that we're all in the same boat and that we will all sink or swim together. Success is a collective effort. The purpose of work becomes participation in the ongoing creation of something collectively worthwhile. That mindset frees us from comparison and replaces pressure with meaning. Spiritual leadership reminds us that the organization isn't a machine, it's a living system. Its health depends not just on output, but on the quality of awareness flowing through it. When leaders model these principles, the effects ripple fast. People feel valued as whole human beings. Engagement deepens. Stress doesn't vanish, but resilience grows. Community replaces competition. Still, a few boundaries do matter. Any spiritual practice at work must always be voluntary, never imposed. And it must be inclusive, open to all worldviews. The goal isn't to adopt a belief system, it's to nurture the universal human capacities for presence, compassion, and integrity. In closing, the most potent leadership is a spiritual act. It's the art of aligning who we are, what we do, and why we're doing it. It's not lofty, but it is deeply human. So before your next meeting, take a deep breath. Remember, everyone in there is trying, in their own way, to matter. Go in and then ask them to take a deep breath as well. Because when leadership serves the purpose of life, work becomes sacred, not in a religious sense, but in the sense of being fully alive and wholly connected. If this resonated with you, please subscribe for more weekly insights on leadership and self-mastery. Like and share to help others lead from presence, not pressure. Thanks for watching. See you next time.